afternoon. It's a pleasure to be here. My name's Jonathan Ross. I'm the Group CEO of Fruitcorp Beverages. I guess the first thing I'd like to say is I've been really heartened by a number of comments from presenters this morning saying that the door's open with industry and we want to work together. And I guess we're here, as we were last year, because we equally have an open door and want to work together collaboratively on what the future looks like. So I'm very encouraged by that. Look, I've got a title of a presentation here called A Hunger for Making Drinks Better, and I think it's an interesting title for the 10 minutes that I'll share our story with you, but I think it goes deeper than that. In fact, that's the purpose of our organisation. So we've defined our purpose as A Hunger for Making Drinks Better. So hopefully that will become more clear for you as I go through the next 10 minutes. Right, so who are we, Fruitcorp? Well, we start life in 1962, not far from here, in Nelson on the top of the South Island. So we were part of Enza in those days, and we were putting apple juice into cans under the Fresh Up brand, just over the Cook Strait here in Nelson. So wind forward to today, we're part of a Japanese group. We're part of a business called Suntory. We're based in South Auckland, where we have our major manufacturing site. You can see one of our people there in our juice factory there. We employ 750 New Zealanders, mostly at South Auckland, and we have a business in Australia and 250 Australians in our team. We're known for being a very values-based organisation. We're a little bit different than other manufacturers and other players in our sector. We're really proud that on many occasions in the last 5 or 6 years we've been recognised as an Aon Hewitt Best Employer. So that's just a little bit about us, but let me now talk about more about where we're heading. Now, I know I'm preaching to the converted when I share this slide with you, but I guess I wanted to start my presentation before I talk specifically about what we're doing to stand back and look a little bit broader about health and wellbeing. Now, we all know health and wellbeing is a really complex issue. And it is a complex issue, and this data shows that there's no silver bullet to this complex problem. This is Australian data. We'd love if there was more New Zealand data, and there's people in the room that could influence that, so we'd really encourage to get more data. But for the purpose of this, let's assume that the Australian data is very close to the New Zealand data. So this is energy intake by kids. And what it's showing is that 58% of energy intake by kids are from what's called, in this study, core foods, and 42% discretionary foods. And then when you look at discretionary, no surprises. Soft drinks are in there, confectionery, takeaway foods, etc. Now, the reason I put this up is not to say that we're off the hook. Quite the contrary. I think it's in this environment that we've made a decision at Fruitcorp that we want to take a leadership role, but recognising that we're doing it in an environment that looks like this, and it is a little bit complex, and therefore we just have to face the fact that that we will lead in that environment. So what do I mean when I say lead? And this, what you see there on the screen, is our purpose and mission. This is not written for today. This is what you would find if you came to our office in South Auckland. This is what guides our organisation. And so I say that because it starts to bring to the conference today some of the things that are driving us as an organisation. So we've enshrined some of this leadership role within our purpose and mission. And let me just highlight 3 phrases that jump out. And the first is well-being and enjoyment. I guess if you look in the past, beverage companies like Fruitcorp, by whether we wrote it down or not, were about enjoyment. What we've done in the last few years is bring the idea of well-being central to our organisation. So we now have a very clear mission in life that it's about well-being and enjoyment. Not one or the other, but it's actually about both. The second point is around leading positive change. Now, look, there is a role for personal responsibility and family responsibility and things that go on within schools. Of course there is. But we see it as far more than that. We think that we need to take a leadership role, and we think that we can take a leadership role. And again, we've defined the fact that we will be a leader and leading for positive change in our sector. And finally, the purpose of our organisation, which I opened my presentation on, A Hunger for Making Drinks Better. Now, you might think that's a bit odd, we're a drinks company and we're hungry. Well, it's because it's actually how we want to show up as an organisation. We are hungry to be successful, we're hungry to make a difference. We're hungry for our staff, we're hungry for our consumers, and we want to make a difference and we want to make better drinks. And better might mean in the room today, that might be less sugar. It could also be less packaging, it could be better for the environment, it could be cheaper, it could be with more skills in our factory. So better is broader than products with less sugar, but nevertheless it encompasses less sugar. So, I've said that we want to lead positive change. Well, are we? And what evidence have we got to even share today that we're making a start on this journey? And we have made a start. It's not finished, but let me share some things that we've been doing. This is tangible and it's real. In the last 12 months, I mean, every year we launch new products and we bring new products to the market. It's often the lifeblood. Consumers like new products being brought to the market. About 2/3 of the products that we've launched in the last 12 months are either low or no sugar. So I bring it here as an example of something tangible and real that we're doing in this space. In addition, if I take your eyes to the far right of the screen, you'll see a brand there called G-Force. Now G-Force has been around forever and it's quite a heavily sugar sweetened product. We've made a decision in the last few months, we haven't told anyone about it, we've just made it 50% less sugar. You won't find it on the front of the label, we're not talking about it, we've just taken the sugar down and replaced it with artificial sweetener on the basis that we think it's the right thing to do. Now, interestingly, we've not had a high level of negative sentiment on this, but we've had negative sentiment on our Facebook page by loyal G-Force consumers that don't want us to change. Now, I'll come to the job we have in leading consumers in a moment, so I won't sort of get ahead of myself, but the point is, we're still prepared to hold the course because we think it's the right thing to do, and we're not changing despite some of that feedback. So I'm staying with some other tangible things to share with you the things that we are doing in this leadership role. So in addition to the new products we've launched, in the last 12 months we've committed $4 million to advertising these 3 brands. Now, so it's real money, it's $4 million, and this is our role of getting into the kitchens and the lounge rooms of Kiwis that consume our products. How do we do that? We advertise and we put products and make them available in the way that can help. And so what you see here are 3 brands. Just Juice 50% reduced sugar, it's our iconic juice brand. We've launched reduced sugar variants, and we're heavily advertising that. OV Hydration and Sparkling O. So $4 million of tangible investment to reach mum and dads and kids in Australia, in New Zealand, with these brands. This year we've taken one of our flagship products, V Energy Drink, and launched it in a pure format, and it's called V Pure. Now it's got 20% less sugar. Now I know for many in the room that's still 80% too much. Look, I get that, but we've made a start and we've launched this product with 20% less sugar, and we've made it with all natural ingredients. I'm getting the peace sign. I'm okay on the peace sign. What I wanted to talk about here was introduce the concept of taking leadership but doing it one step ahead of our consumers. We can't get 10 steps ahead. If we get 10 steps ahead, we'll make product, no one will buy them, we won't make any difference, we might make an impact. So this is an example, as some of the other products I've just shared with you, about being one step ahead, taking a longer term view of impacting consumer preference and actually working to bring consumers with us on this journey. For 10 years, we've had a commitment, a voluntary commitment of not selling sugar-sweetened soft drinks and energy drinks in schools, and we're really proud of this commitment. And this year we're reaffirming that commitment and even looking at ways we can further strengthen that commitment. So how's all this playing out when you look at our products and our portfolio? And this is a take of our portfolio comparing 2014 sales to 2016. And there's 4 ways we've classified our portfolio, and then I'll talk about the change. The first is natural nutrition, which is mostly our juice products. Functional, which are products that contain sugar that have a functional role. V and Gatorade would be examples of functional products. Fun and treat, that's traditional carbonated soft drink territory, and low and no sugar. I'm really proud of the initiatives that I've been sharing with you today have fundamentally changed and nearly doubled the size of our low and no sugar part of our portfolio. So in 14, it was 10% of our total portfolio. Today it's 19. So that is a change. And it's an indication that we're, well, that's interesting. Is that because I'm at 1 minute now?
I've got nothing to do with it.
So in conclusion, we are committed to leading positive change. We've locked that down in our vision and purpose as an organisation. We've made some positive change. We're not finished. We've made a start. You can see some of that proof today, some of the evidence today. We want to continue to work collaboratively. We're really pleased to be part of this event, and we'll certainly be back next time. And many of you will be welcome to come and visit us in South Auckland. Thank you very much.